It wasn't very long ago that WWE announced that SummerSlam will take place on August 21st, a Saturday of all days. Over the weekend, WWE made a second announcement, this time letting us know that SummerSlam will take place in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is the same day that Manny Pacquiao fights Errol Spence Jr. Was that a mistake? I'm Ryan Joy, and I run MinutesToBellTime.com, a website and database tracking pro wrestling from around the world. On today's show, we're talking about Las Vegas as a pro wrestling city. Does it make sense for WWE to run there, right now, on the same day as the Pacquiao fight? We also have a long list of headlines, including a new NWA World Women's Champion and a new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. Karl is in the house, and this is the Daily Wrestling News Show for June 7th, 2021, where we sort through all the bullshit in wrestling news to find you the truth. Karl, SummerSlam going to Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. Woo!
Of all the places, it's such a newsworthy place for them to go. It brings up all the memories of, WrestleMania 9 and all those things. So there's a lot to get into here.
You know what? You said in the notes what we're going to talk about, the venue with Vegas and the last. I forgot. I didn't realize that what we're going to talk about was at Vegas. Yeah, WrestleMania 9. Can't forget that. That was that was a fun night.
It's the WrestleMania that a lot of people try to strike from the list, but I would argue strike 11. 9 was great.
Between those two are arguably, they're neck and neck right now for being ranked 36th and 37th on the all-time WrestleMania list. But it's the one match I say, there was the one match that was the one night I liked Lex Luger in that narcissist gimmick.
Yes, yeah.
I thought that was good. I thought that was a great pairing with Mr. Perfect. The running forearm, and apparently he got Hogan before the show started that nobody saw at the breakfast or whatever they had. So that was fun, and then Perfect got the last laugh of Luger on the following year, which was that just made it even that much better for me. But
that's long-term booking from WWE right there.
There you go. It was booked perfectly.
All right, well, here's the news. WWE announced that SummerSlam will take place from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas on Saturday, August 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern, making it the first time the annual event has been held at an NFL stadium. It will be one of the first sporting events held at full capacity at Allegiant Stadium. Nick Khan said, coming out of the pandemic, it was important to us to have a big event like SummerSlam in Las Vegas. We expect to deliver a great night of sports entertainment for the people of the city and a boost in foot traffic for the casinos and local businesses. Al, what do you have to say? First time the event is in a NFL stadium. What about Wembley?
Yeah. That's the other kind of football, Ryan. So, but they have had NFL games at Wembley, I believe. I think a couple times when they go overseas, they do have it there. But this is the first outdoor stadium event since Wembley. I remember watching that as a kid. That was absolutely incredible. I love it, and this is I'll even give when I'm watching Dynamite or even was the pay-per-view, the starting the show with the sunlight, and then you see it just go, and then the lighting at the end and everything. I thought it's a fun aspect. That's what's going to happen in Vegas because even with the 7 o'clock start Eastern, it's only 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock out there. I remember if it's 2 hours or 3 hours at this time of year. But WrestleMania, the one that was in San Francisco, so it was at 31. That was the same thing. That started like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I remember the Usos walking the aisle. I thought they were going to get sunburned.
Right. If the Usos walked the aisle for the pre-show match, you mean? Yeah.
That was the fatal four-way tag. Well, there was 3 other teams in that match. But it's fun. The Raiders, it was sad. They have that beautiful new stadium. It looks like a giant Zumba, the little portable vacuum cleaner. The Raiders have this beautiful new stadium that hasn't seen fans yet. It was really sad to watch the Raiders. I mean, it's sad to watch the Raiders in general, but like the fact that there's this beautiful new stadium with no fans in it yet, and you're just like, oh my god, like they got to do something. They the Davis family's got to be kicking themselves that they couldn't benefit off this.
Well, so what do you think about the aspect of them running on the same day as the Pacquiao fight?
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Now, the thing is, boxing is like the UFC. Like, that fight's probably not going to happen until midnight. So I don't think there's going to be any crossover between SummerSlam and Manny Pacquiao.
You mean they're not going to be at the same time?
I saw, I'm sorry, what was that?
You just mean that they're not going to be taking place at the same time at all.
Yeah, maybe the undercard matches, but no one's going to tune in for the undercard. But it's everyone in the world. Like Pacquiao is a world-renowned athlete. People are going to want to watch Manny Pacquiao, even at his age. They want to see Manny. So, from what I read, though, this is how rumors get started. I read an article when they announced that SummerSlam was going to be on a Saturday, and I'm hearing that this was at the request of Allegiant Stadium and the Davis family. Like, this is intentional. Now, and boxing is huge in Vegas, so I'm thinking, like I said, the casinos are going to be rolling. It's just going to be one huge party on August 21st. You're going to have the fanfare from SummerSlam. You're going to have SummerSlam, and then into the Pacquiao fight. Which, if I'm the stadium, if I'm running that show, I'm putting the fight in the stands, and I'm keeping them in the arena or in the stadium. As long as possible. Screw it. Why not? Get the extra sales. Like I said, you lost an entire football season. Yeah, I'm sure the Davis family isn't hurting for money, but keep the people in the stadium to enjoy it. No one has enjoyed that stadium yet.
I was thinking that it made sense for them to do this because you were right. SummerSlam is going to be long over before that Pacquiao fight starts. And I'm thinking that maybe Allegiant Stadium, WWE, Vegas convention people, they think, what? We've got people coming in here to watch combat sports for the Pacquiao fight. Maybe they go to SummerSlam too. And that's their whole day.
Yeah.
And then they can just go from one to the other, especially since they're not going to be at the same time. So
yeah, this makes 100%. This makes 100% sense. This makes complete sense. There you go, complete sense.
And because Las Vegas it's a fly-in city, right? It's a city. It's big. There's a population, but people go there for stuff. So you have to have an event worthy enough to bring people there. And maybe SummerSlam by itself wasn't going to be enough, but if they throw it on the same day as this Pacquiao fight, now people are like, I can go to Vegas and do this and this.
Yep.
In one day.
Yep. So. Yeah, 100%. Is that Vegas? They want to grow sports. They want. They brought the Raiders there for the reason. The Vegas Golden Knights. I know. Hockey's not a big thing. Hockey's my life. The Golden Knights they're an attraction now. They are good. They've been good since they came into the league 3-4 years ago. However long they've been in now. They're an attraction. Apparently they put on an amazing show in between the game, like the commercial timeouts and the pre-show and the after show and the in-between periods. It's all one big Vegas show, and even the hockey team is an attraction.
Sure. So let's talk about Vegas as a historical wrestling city, because there's some gems, and we couldn't help ourselves but talk about 9 right at the top.
Yeah.
But also, it conveniently that you're wearing orange, I'm wearing black. Halloween Havoc 96, 97, 98, 99, and 2000, all from Las Vegas. That's your Hogan Savage, your Hogan Piper, Goldberg, Dallas Page, and Sting Goldberg. All
and I think
from Las
that was
Vegas.
the culmination of Savage and Dallas Page too. Was at Halloween? They hated each other, man. Yeah, I really enjoyed that feud.
But there is a lot. Vegas is not the most frequent pay-per-view city, but there's some things in history. We talked about 9, and there's the Halloween Havoc. No Way Out. 2008 was the Elimination Chamber matches. That's where Taker won the Elimination Chamber that sent him forward to win the world title in 2008 at WrestleMania. So,
okay.
And then there's the Money in the Bank that you and I were talking about ahead of time. This is an event where all 3 members of the Shield held the world title on the same night.
Yeah, I remember my Pick'em League was involved in that. All right. Actually, I got that one right because it was just supposed to be Rollins versus Reigns, right? And Reigns was champ. Rollins was trying to get his belt back. This was this was before Seth got injured, right? Or after. Well, this is what started. I can't remember. But then Ambrose cashed it. So Ambrose won Money in the Bank, and he wins it. I don't think anybody really had him to win it in my pool. I think Kevin Owens was kind of the favorite to win that match. And then Ambrose won it, and we're like, all right, this guy's got zero patience whatsoever. Like, this is happening tonight. And it just so happened, yeah. So then Rollins beat Roman for the belt, and then here comes they all had it.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of a fun memory for Las Vegas. So
yeah.
they have their place, and let's not forget Double or Nothing 2019 as well, and a future Double or Nothing at some point down the road whenever they get to go back to MGM. But that had the Dustin Cody match that everybody remembers. That was match of the year in PWI that year. So,
yep. Yeah, they started. I can't remember where All In was, but they had they were early on in Vegas. I remember the big chips. Didn't Moxley and Kenny Omega have their match? I remember the huge the
so
chips
it was
in Vegas.
It was Omega versus Jericho. The winner was going to fight Hangman Page.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All Out.
Okay.
But Moxley came out at the end and he beat up Omega. So it was Moxley's debut. Hangman Page wins the Casino Battle Royal. Chris Jericho gets a win over Omega. The Dustin Cody match. So a whole bunch of stuff happened there.
Yeah.
So
the birth of Le Champion.
And then WrestleMania 9, we talked about the Luger and Perfect. You got Michael Tatanka, Crush and Doink, Yoko and Hart and Yoko and Hogan, Money Inc. versus Beefcake and Hogan.
Yeah.
And Jim Ross's debut in WWF. So
yeah, Jim, and then it's Heenan came out on the camel backwards was probably the biggest thing of that whole show.
So now that we've recounted all this history, what's going to happen at SummerSlam?
You don't, you hear rumors and speculation. I was talking to Tyler Adele. I was actually fortunate enough to be with Tyler Adele this past weekend at work, and he's calling Brock. I think we're going to get Brock and Bobby. I think that everyone's been wanting to see. I think that now we're getting the full attendance. Now we're getting all right. Now it's time to wake up the beast incarnate. Now it's time to poke the beast. Brock, time to wake up, get back to work. So
obviously Brock wins the WWE Championship, and then at Survivor Series we have Brock versus Roman with Heyman and Cage.
Yep.
Shark Cage.
Yep. Those are the only two matches that Lesnar wrestles this year. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Greatest deal of all time.
The image of Paul Heyman in a shark cage suspended above the ring.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion. I call ASA. You gotta do Brock and Roman at some point, and I didn't even put two and two together with the survivors you just said. Because I had Brock winning the Royal Rumble because it's such a great story with him and Roman. The feud itself, specifically at WrestleMania. Plus, you throw Heyman into it. Like this is gonna be. Heyman's gonna be in a very tough spot, and we're gonna end up cheering Brock Lesnar. That's really what's going to come down to.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors too. I mean, you've got the John Cena rumors out there and stuff. So I think just stay tuned. It's going to be interesting. We have Money in the Bank next month, and that could have, lingering implications because there's a foreboding presence of somebody lingering above Bobby and Roman. So SummerSlam, looking forward to it this year. Should be good.
And as the Cranberries once said, you have to let it linger. Yeah, I think with the Money in the Bank, you have to let it linger. So apparently, I don't mean to step on your comments here, John. Maybe I said something wrong. I guess it's a giant Roomba is what Allegiant Stadium looks like. I can't remember what I said, but it's the little portable vacuum, the robotic thing that just goes around and finds dirt. And that's exactly what the stadium looks like.
Well, we will see.
Yeah,
we will see. SummerSlam. All right, so. We have more headlines, including the new NWA World Women's Champion, the new IWGP Champion. We've got all that coming up right after this quick commercial break. If you love the Daily Wrestling News Show, then I want to tell you how you can support us. First, check out bodyslamclothes.com. You can get a variety of shirts for just $20, and all of them come in the super soft style, and the price you see includes all sizes and shipping. Get 10% off 2 or more shirts with the promo code SHIRTS10. Go to bodyslamclothes.com right now to check it out. And join Joey Jarzanka, Ian Schreier, and Rob DeLuca on Friday nights for the Primetime Rundown. They take you through the world of sports. The show kicks off at 6 p.m. on the Eastern Observer. And each Tuesday, Al Karl hosts the Essential Wrestling Podcast alongside John Smith, myself, John DeConnie, and Gary Mahaffey. It's another week of updates and highlights in the world of wrestling. Hear our analysis on who we think is going to win the week's matches. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. on the Eastern Observer. And Pro Wrestling Pick'em. It's a place where you can join or host a Pick'em League to test your predictive skills in the world of pro wrestling. Create an account and join a league now at ProWrestlingPick'em.com so you can play against your friends or play against the universe. And the Body Slam Brigade newsletter, currently going out to over 4,200 people each Friday. It consolidates all the top stories in professional wrestling into a quick-to-read email written by me, for you, for free. Sign up now at BodySlamBrigade.com. And of course, this show, the Daily Wrestling News Show. We're here every day, Monday through Thursday, and occasionally on Friday. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, or watch us live on Facebook and YouTube at 10 a.m. This is the Daily Wrestling News Show, and we thank you for your support. When you hear that noise, we are into the headlines section of the news.
That's awesome. Touche, Ryan. Touche. It's like you had a busy weekend making graphics and stuff.
All right. So headlines. Shingo Takagi. We're coming off of just 2 hours ago. He won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship that was vacated by Will Ospreay last month. So new champion in New Japan.
Takagi Shingo.
That
LIJ, baby, taking it home, LIJ.
Unless something crazy happens in the news today, this will be our lead story tomorrow. Travis and I will sit down and talk about this at length in the first 15 minutes of tomorrow's show, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, John Smith just gave you a shout out. I don't know if you caught that comment. If you want to throw it up there, Make sure you get your Bell Time shirts.
The Bell Time Club shirt that I am wearing, John Smith wears it as a bouncer. Lots of compliments. Make sure you send them to bodyslamclothes.com and give them the promo code. Shirts 10.
Representing the Bell Time. Well, no one's going to mess with the Bell Time, especially John Smith is bouncing. I didn't even realize he did that, but he can bounce, I'm sure. I've seen his backyard wrestling tapes. He can bounce. He's good.
The other thing that happened over the weekend, we had When Our Shadows Fall. That was a show that was on yesterday, 4 o'clock. It was an early show. And the main event was Nick Aldis versus Trevor Murdoch. The finish was kind of screwy. Aldis hit the referee, and that led to a disqualification many minutes later after Murdoch had him dead to rights. So kind of a weak finish there. But the news, there's a couple of news items coming out of this show. And that is first that Camille won the NWA World Women's Championship. She beat Serena Deeb. And so now it looks like the the NWA Women's World Championship will be off of AEW television, unless it's not.
Yeah, there's no reason why they can't bring Camille in, right? But that looks like that's going to stay home after all this time. Well, that's only fair now. They're back on TV. They got their own show back. I mean, it's fair is fair. They did the justice. They did what they could to help. And as the Thunder Rosa matches and Serena Deeb matches, all their defenses. Like I said, the buy-in, when I said in the Central Wrestling Podcast last week, the buy-in match between Serena Deeb and Riho was really, really good. It was those two. You couldn't have put them on two better wrestlers with Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb, and especially when they fought each other with the title change. Absolutely incredible. So it's back home. Camille is a force to be reckoned with. I don't know why she's not anywhere near the Performance Center right now. Hunter needs to be on that quickly because she's got star written all over her. I guess maybe her in-ring stuff, there's a reason why she's an NW. Maybe the in-ring stuff isn't where it should be. But that's what the Performance Center's for. That's the whole thing.
Once the current contract is over, it'll be interesting to see if she stays with NWA long-term or if she does pivot and go to WWE or AEW or anywhere else. So
if Hunter doesn't make her a star, Hunter could, and Vince is gonna,
Well, she's the right person for that system.
Yeah.
In terms of stature and everything, because she is just enormous. She stood about a foot over Serena Deeb at the show. So big person. But you were mentioning the NWA title having its run in AEW. I agree that I think that was good for them. It has raised Thunder Rosa's profile. She was already very popular, but now she had a lot more eyeballs on her, and she works basically 50-50 in these companies, it looks like. So
and she's a household name now. She's 100% a household name. I've heard the name before, but I've never seen her, and she's absolutely incredible. She made. Like I said, when I was doing my World Cup of wrestling, whatever, there's not one Mexican female wrestler I could think of that was better than her. She was on, Team Mexico representing, with Eddie Guerrero and Tito Santana and Mil Masco, the legends that country has produced. She's the cream of the crop, and she was incredible. She is incredible.
The other news coming out of the show, still in the women's division, Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae made her debut. So they had there was no Kylie Rae leading up to this pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. She's just on the show. They did advertise her for the show, but there was no program or anything, and she was in a tag match. And she won with heel tactics, which is really weird for Smiley Kylie. So,
yeah, they're gonna change it up, I guess. I mean, I guess now that her personal life, life imitates whatever the phrase is. We know her story. We do. She's not always smiley, and I guess maybe they can do something with this. So it's just happy to see her back. The last we heard, she was done. She wanted to be done, and I guess. It's 2021. Everybody can kind of okay, well, she's not well right now. She's got to get better. So it looks like she's better, but just glad to have her back on TV, man. She was great. She was my pick to win that Battle Royal, whatever they had, Slammiversary. We had disappointed we didn't get the match with Deonna at Bound for Glory. It was just
people may be wondering about that situation because. When Kylie Rae left, she was under contract with Impact. Now, because she left the wrestling business, the contract is still valid. So they still had her in an exclusive contract. Mm-hmm. But PW Insider and Fightful, they reached out to Impact to talk about this, both of them independently. And I guess Impact and NWA came to an agreement that allowed Kylie to move on from Impact. So good on the wrestling business because they need to do things like this to support the athletes sometimes.
Yeah, and apparently it's great. I know you couldn't remember who her tag team partner was. Going against Thunder Rosa and Melina, that's a fun match to be in right there. I kind of want to go back and see that.
My guess is that that's where things are going to pivot. We're going to get Kylie Rae versus Thunder Rosa, and that's a great match. That's a
huge match.
Yes. So we'll see if Serena Deeb continues to dip her toe in NWA or if she's done now. But in any case, you got Kylie Rae, and you got Thunder Rosa, and you got a developing Camille as champion. So you've got, some pillars of a division there. So
yeah, imagine Kylie Rae being goth. That'd be a fun heel game. See, I was always a firm believer. I wanted this big goth female faction led by Bayley. Back when Bayley was the Smiley, you put Bayley, Candice LeRae, get all the nicest, Casey Catanzaro, all the nicest girls, turn them goth and let them kill people. I think that would have been such a great heel turn for Bayley. But ding dong, hello, what she's doing is working. So
yes. But I'm still there if they decide to reintroduce the Brood as a female faction.
That'd be great. Well, not vampires. They want to be goth. If you watch South Park, there is a distinct difference between vampires and goth kids.
Would these two? Okay, so would my feud, my faction, the Brood, fit, their rivals would be the goth people? Is that what's happening? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Vampires drink tomato juice, and the goth kids are anti-establishment. And smoke cigarettes from the age of 10.
Well, here's something anti-establishment. Somebody robbed the WWE Thunderdome. Did you see the footage of this?
I didn't see the footage of it. No, I guess I've been busy. I kind of haven't.
They have camera shots of the guy walking out with a big bag from the Thunderdome. So the police are after him for grand theft. So I don't know what's in the bags, but if Bobby Lashley doesn't walk out with a title tonight, some guy is walking around with WWE championship or something. So.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I kind of wonder how that happens. You kind of figure that building would be under 24-hour security surveillance. Somebody's getting fired for that. That's one thing for sure. Somebody's getting fired for that, and because that's one of those things. Dude, you had one job.
Yeah, lock up. It's probably
or shut. And lock.
We talked about Kylie Rae's contract status, but now we have to talk about Andrade's contract status. He walks out Friday night Dynamite. He is with AEW, and they announced he is All Elite.
El Idolo. I did not know his last name was El. I thought it was Almas, but I guess that was his WWE name. I didn't realize his real last name was El Idolo.
It must be.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't understand. Mexican culture. I guess El Zero Miedo is probably a common last name in Mexico, but I didn't realize El Idolo was as well. So that's
for sure. So
probably the Mexican version of Smith and Jones, right? That's
exactly. So now we have the potential matches of Andrade versus Phoenix, Andrade versus Omega, Andrade versus Penta, Andrade versus Pac. We've got a good series of matches here.
Yeah, and him with Vicky Guerrero, who's not going to want to just see all that?
I would have preferred Zelina Vega, but
yeah, who was it? You went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, excuse me.
But maybe Zelina's still out there. I guess the rumors was she was at the Performance Center, and then nothing was confirmed that she signed. Who knows where she is right now?
Yeah, I think they're in wait and see mode because, man, there has to be some sort of feeling about the fact that Aleister Black got let go too.
Yeah, as I said, probably on vacation. Let the two of them go on vacation for a little bit. She's probably making all the money in the world on her third-party thing, which is the reason why she got fired in the first place. But so they just let them go on vacation, enjoy life for a little bit. So I'm sure they haven't been able to do that because they always, there's always been touring and whatever. So let the Black family be, Aleister and Zelina. Let them have fun and. Hopefully maybe come back. She takes out Vicky, and then they get back together again, and then maybe Aleister Black comes back because God knows that history is absolutely incredible between Aleister Black, or I'm sorry, I guess what they call him Tommy End now, Tommy End and Andrade El Zero. I don't know. Okay, I'm already confused. But yeah, the whole thing is then we reached out about it to each other, talking on our little text chain. You just hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. I say when you have a 125 person roster, I'm only over exaggerating by a little bit. It's in 3 digits of on screen talent.
I don't know, but I'm kind of hoping to see that once they go back out on the road, those numbers shrink a bit. Because they're not going to be able to do these 2-hour dark elevations, and most of these talents that we're talking about are on a certain number of dates. Very few people have gotten the Andrade is all elite graphic.
Yeah.
So
you never saw the in action is all elite. You don't. I get that. And the whole elevation of dark. You put their names out there. Like I said, now you're Jake St. Patrick's, and you're Griff Garrison's, who actually, he's above that now. He broke through now. The Varsity Blondes being a legit tag team on Dynamite. Yes, I don't know. This whole thing it's going to be interesting to do. That's a lot of hotel rooms they got to book when they're on the road.
That's true. Well, Impact, if you can make it to Nashville to Skyway, where are they? Skyway Studios, is that right?
Skyway Studios.
Okay. If you can make it to Nashville to Skyway Studios, and you can get in the front row for Slammiversary. They are allowing fans back. So with that announcement last week, that's all the promotions. Everybody's got fans back now.
You get front row seats of Samoa Joe jumping Kenny Omega. It's going to be so much fun.
Impact is, I think, it's the low key spot where you can see anybody potentially. You never know on Slammiversary, especially.
Yeah, they say they again. Yeah, Slammiversary is going to be lit after last week's release. Dude, Bound for Glory is going to be fire, dude. That's going to be. Oh my God, Strowman coming out of Bound for Glory. Oh my God, it's going to be great.
Yeah, we'll see where Strowman ends up. That's a crazy story for sure.
Yeah, he's got to go to Wrestle House. They got to wait to do Wrestle House this summer. Postpone it to when Strowman gets there. He is going to be absolutely incredible. He needs to go. And I have just been saying it since after the releases happened. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell just happened? And I'm like, oh my God, Strowman's got to go to Impact. This guy is so awesome. He fit in so perfect because he's got the personality for it. The real Braun, whatever his real name is, whoever Braun Strowman is in real life, he has that personality. Genius stupidity, or I don't even know the word you want to put it, but he can fit into that locker room perfectly.
Well, we'll see where he ends up. I think that's going to be a huge story when it lands, and it could be he decides to not do anything.
Yeah,
he could stay home. He could re-sign with WWE under.
That's John Smith's theory. Yep.
Yeah. I kind of think that's likely, to be honest, because he's just so WWE focused. He's homegrown and. I think he wants to be there, so we'll see.
Yeah, if you have the loyalty, that there's no shame in that either. A lot of guys know that the Undertaker did that for how many years? And he was never released, but that's loyalty goes a long way with Vince.
Right. So the Dark Side of the Ring. I don't know if you had a chance to see Dark Side of the Ring this past week, but man, I watched the first 15 minutes and I stopped it, and I had to wait for my wife to walk out and said, "You need to watch this because." If you don't know the story of Jake Roberts and his family, this will open your eyes.
I did not see it. I believe, I don't know if Jake had a DVD way back when, explaining his relationship with his father and like how Jake was born. It's yes. I'm not the kind of that. I don't even know if I can say half the things that on air on. So I don't even know if I can say half the stuff that how Jake was born and the whole thing with his father. It was and then you look at who Jake is and look at the problems in real life, and then you probably look at the character that he portrayed, and it's like, okay, everything makes complete sense there.
You know, Jake Roberts' brother is Sam Houston. His sister is Rockin' Robin, and his dad is Grizzly Smith. This is a wrestling family. It's a huge dynasty, but none of them speak to each other. Grizzly's dead at this point, but they don't speak to each other.
Yeah, I remember vague. I didn't know Sam Houston was his brother. I think I remember vaguely that you said Rockin' Robin was his sister. I'm like, okay, that makes complete sense. I didn't know Sam Houston was his brother. Not that I've seen a lot of Sam Houston. I just remember him, doing Triangle Circle at WrestleMania 4 in the Battle Royal, and that's pretty much my history of Sam Houston. But Jake is. I think half the reason why Jake became a wrestler was just to screw his father, just shove up his father's. He just wanted. I'm better than you. I can do this better than you can.
Yeah. So if people have a chance, I think this was the most eye-opening one. I mean, I've seen the whole set, all of them. And a lot of them I knew the stories too, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But boy, this one it felt like it was heavy. So.
Yeah, Jake's not. Jake is a very complicated individual,
and you come out understanding him a lot more.
Yeah. Yep.
And then the final headline I have is Nick Gage got attacked again over the weekend. So in Vegas, Nick Gage got attacked by. Sorry, this is not like he was in the parking lot and got attacked. This was in wrestling speak. He was at a show, and in Vegas, Moxley came out and attacked him. Here we are back in Atlantic City. He gets attacked again. Somebody walks out. They've got a robe, so you can't see who it is. They saunter out like John Moxley. They hit the paradigm shift. Robed figure holding a lightsaber, looks like a Sith Lord. Reveals it's Matt Cardona. So Matt Cardona is apparently getting into the deathmatch business with Nick Gage. And they've had a big rivalry over Twitter recently with Nick Gage calling out Zack Ryder. So they booked it, I guess. Yeah,
and then shout out to Matt Cardona for being, he's got a shattered, orbital bone. Like, he's supposed to be on the show for 12 weeks. Shout out to him for, still committing to his independent wrestling commitments.
Yeah, if I had a busted orbital bone, I'm sure Nick Gage would be the first guy I'd think of to go wrestle.
Yeah, or
But in any case, so it looks like they have a big event coming up Chicago for Labor Day. And on one hand, I was thinking maybe they'll book Moxley Gage that weekend since AEW will be there too. And I think it is more likely it's going to be Cardona Gage that weekend. So stay tuned to this show. I'm sure I will let you know as soon as I know what's been booked. So
there you go. What's the job? That's your job. That's what you signed up for.
And we sort through the bullshit in pro wrestling news to find the truth. So.
Language.
Sorry. Monday Night Raw tonight, there's a tag team battle royal. Lucha House Party versus the Viking Raiders versus New Day versus RK Bro versus Mason T-Bar. The winner will be the number one contender for AJ Styles and Amos. So Shayna will be on Alexa's Playground, and Lashley McIntyre's contract signing. That's Raw tonight.
Okay, that tag team battle royal. That sounds very. It's a battle royal or is it a gauntlet? I'm sorry,
battle royal. So we got the Viking Raiders.
Yeah.
Mason T-Bar, RK Bro, the New Day, and Lucha House Party. So it's obviously going to be the Lucha House Party winning this.
I'm thinking that. Yeah, you think that. It all depends on the. Yeah. Well, I guess it's going to just push Riddle and Orton just right off the bat, huh? There's not even going to let that. Not even going to let that simmer for 5 minutes. I'm just going to give them the number one contenders. I guess what is that? Hell in the Cell is in 2 weeks on the calendars up there. Hell in the Cell in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Hell in the Cell, and then we got Money in the Bank, and then we have SummerSlam. I would have thought that's a SummerSlam match.
You would think so. I mean, it's long-term booking, I guess. I don't know. You always give it to the Viking Raiders. Let them just mess up the Viking Raiders, real quick, which is, again, I hate saying it that way, but because, I think that would be an absolutely incredible. Viking Raiders versus anybody is absolutely incredible. I don't understand, again, but that's I'm not.
You think Amos will take the Viking experience?
Yeah, right. I don't watch the Viking experience. That took a second to register. Yeah, that's going to be pretty crazy. They can probably throw Styles pretty high. You ever see the Ring of Honor where they did the cheeseburger?
Oh my God, no.
Cheeseburger almost hit the ceiling.
You know, his name now is something like the artist formerly known as Cheeseburger.
Oh,
it's something. It's something CB. I can't even think of it right now. Stay tuned. Tomorrow's show, I'll let you know. World famous CB. That's what it is.
Yeah, a world famous CB. Oh, yeah. He's worth it. You know what? I spy a Jersey guy. I'm a cheeseburger fan, so go for it.
All right, Al. Anything else in the world of wrestling that we need to touch on that we haven't yet?
Anything else in the world of wrestling? I don't. Eva Marie didn't make a return yet, so I got nothing. Again, another shout out to the Miz. I'm sure he'll be on TV again, working through his torn ACL with a zombie attack. So, Miz, you know, he's a working man's worker.
There you go.
I just hope this injury, just like I said, I hope this injury doesn't screw up his Mortal Kombat bid. Like, he needs to be Johnny Cage. Like he is Johnny Cage. Like, I don't understand why. Like, this is so perfect.
Well, the other thing you mentioned with the Eva Marie, I should note that there are a lot of people talking about what her role is going to be. So it's just kind of a wait and see things right now. But a lot of people are talking about her having less of a wrestling role and more of a managing role. I don't know. You don't know. We'll see what happens.
I don't know. I've been seeing pictures of her on Twitter. You know, somebody superimposed the Raw title over her shoulder, and that she's like, exactly. So longest reigning Raw Women's Champion in history. That's what I'm calling.
That's how title reigns start.
Exactly.
And rumors, both.
And rumors, yes.
All right. For Al, I'm Ryan. That's been our show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. You can catch us live on Facebook or YouTube. You can get us on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Leave us a rating. Hit the like button. Do all that shit stuff. Share it. Whatever. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.